Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to main training on the Wednesday. Doing something a little bit differently today. A bit of a live commentary throughout parts of this video. And to give you a little bit more insight on maybe what we're seeing here. So this is the first session of the day. It's nice and sunny, so I do apologise for the overexposure. We do have to work on that. But a lot of emphasis since our game against Fremantle around getting from the boundary and opening up to the fat side and finding a forward leading out on they call it the fat side, the open side of the forward 50, which they practiced a lot last week as well. So this is the first drill. So the white team are doing that here, and then on the other side, it's the exact same thing. So real strong emphasis has been on around that for the last, 2-3 weeks. There's Big Chuka, Billy Frampton. Looks like, or hoping he's good to go on Saturday. Coxie. Won't say this too often. Coxie kick going inside 50. Thoughts? Big Ed, what do we reckon? Will he keep his spot with potential 3 to 4 changes? I think if there's a Degoe in sight, maybe his position is up for grabs or in a bit of jeopardy. But if it's just the 3 changes, then maybe he holds his spot for another week. But he's just one of those players that, like we call, I think we've dubbed it, who's going to get John Nobled in the final series, and that could be one of those players, Ed Allen, who's played a pretty strong part in the year thus far. Now, for those who are wondering how or what a conditioning block might look like in season leading into the final series, there's a lot of this. So in between ball drills, you'll see the lads line up and pretty high speed efforts. And it's good to see that players like Billy Frampton are in there, Degoe. It's important to see them, and it's actually great to see that they are including that in their loading. So they're not sort of jumping over steps to be available. They're taking all the steps required as it would be for any other player that's trying to play this weekend. So yeah, this is the top-up conditioning. As far as what they do indoors with the gym and the strength and conditioning, I don't really have much of an idea for it. But what's very clear, it's quite noticeable, in the last 3 weeks, at the very least, they've been doing a lot of this where they will have those high-speed efforts straight up and just top up their sessions through this means. There's Harvey and Jeremy Howe. So they are part of this session or drill. They're just the end product, just lead out. It's not a massive effort for them, but it's required. It's something they'll need to do to, Jeremy Howe more in particular needs to tick the boxes, get some sprint efforts in, albeit in this type of drill. He'd be running at less than 50% here. So once again, just a chain of hand passes sort of fanning into the corridor, and this one's more of a tick lead, I suppose, or a lead back up. Next part of the session is just line fundamentals. So you'll get 10 minutes of this. So this is the back line. Nev giving them some aerial balls, and then you've got Murph who's communicating in the back, which is good to see. And once they deal with the aerial ball, they're actually looking to feed Houston. So maybe there's the intentional play in that drill. Find Houston on a handball receive as much as you can. So let's see it again. Let's see if it's just Houston on repeat or if it's a bit of a rotation. Let's see. And yeah, well, there's Josh Dacos, the Seagulls. So clearly it's a shared drill, but just a pattern. They're stuck in the boundary line. Ball's loose, ground ball. Let's see it again. And then if we just shift over here, swivel a little bit, forward line fundamentals. Just reading the front and centre, banging it in, pretty simple. I do think that's Scoot, who is the forward line coach. So it's good to see him just returning to the club after all the heartbreak he's had to endure this year. So shows the type of character of a man he is. As Bugsy's just pretty much running the boundary, probably doing a 200 metre effort on repeat. Let's see. It's nothing too crazy. Hardly breaking stride, so that's just where he's at the moment. In the middle, just a lot of centre bounce work. A lot of conversation, warranted or not, is Tom Mitchell, Ned Long, can they, can't they? I think we'll know more after probably Brisbane and Hawthorn. We'll know for sure. For now, it's a yes, is where I stand. For now, it is a yes. We'll see. Pendlebury, by the way, who was managed late against Richmond, is participating in all of this session so far. Didn't skip any of the conditioning either earlier, so that's another positive sign. And De Goey's in this centre bounce mix. I think we probably got, it seems like on the scoreboard there's 2 minutes left of fundamentals, so let's have a look at this centre bounce here. And they are rotating, they are giving different midfield mixes. Speaking of the devil, the goat. Membry, probably the most accurate kick at the club. Checkers looks like he has a fade. Can't say I've seen Checkers too often with a fade. Seems like a two on the side and leave the top kind of guy. But he said, you know what, I reckon he's gone to his barber, he said, sort me out. Give me the more contemporary look. Maybe it will help my goal kicking accuracy. Love your Checkers. Alright, we are set up for what can only be assumed as some modified match simulation. So it's a long dump kick and we're looking to rebound from here. Alright, so we'll get a white kick in. It's a nice little outside of the foot. Had me sold there. And that's Houston's confidence after that first turnover, by the way, to try that kick off the side of the boot in wet conditions. More Hooter with the ball. There's that money kick. Bear in mind, this drill is clearly designed to make it hard for the white team to play out all the way deep in your defensive 50. This is why Collingwood is such a good forward half team. Look at how the blacks just make it, they just make it difficult, don't they? They set up so well. By the way, it's just come to me that, and Dan Houston on the ball there again, by the way. It's just come to me that Darcy Moore doesn't seem to be at training today, which is, I don't know, clearly don't know what the reason is, which is worrying because this is their main training session. Now, unless he's exempt from today for a personal reason, maybe he's carrying an injury. I'm not too sure. Maybe we'll find out. We'll probably find out in Fly's press conference after this, but I'm hoping to upload this just before that comes out. We'll see. We'll see. There's definitely no Darcy Moore, is there? Cannot see him in sight. So it's only taken me a little over an hour to recognise that. There's Howie back in the match simulation, which is a good sign to build his loads up. But once again, he'd be operating at literally 50% intensity here. Does he kick on his left, Nick? He goes on his right. After that modified match simulation, this is a bit more of a drill that has many different ways that can go. They actually call this the Maynard Multi. So I would have to guess that this has something to do, the name has something to do with just the many different ways that this drill can go. You know, wide, corridor, there's an end product in it. Yeah, checkers here. So these are the things we can see. DC, after his part is completed, he'll take the shot. If you haven't heard, a lot of the drills, if not all, are actually named after the players. So you'll get Maynard Multi. I genuinely can't remember any of the rest off the top of my head, but they are named after players. So nice little touch to it all. Jeremy Howe going in a bit early, planned or not, I don't know. We shall see. Anyways, we are in black versus white mode. This will probably go on for about 5 minutes and this will be the last drill for the day. I'm really hoping with Jeremy Howe going in a bit earlier. I don't want to say his body language wasn't positive, but I don't know. One of those things we'll probably find out over the course of the day as to whether there's been a setback or not. But I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, so have I put it out there? I don't know. We'll see. Joel's looking good quietly. Had a really good contest against Noah in a couple of scenes before. He's just intercepted this one. To go in this, so he goes through the full session. I reckon he's good to go. Play him as a sub against Brisbane and Hawthorn, in my opinion, and then work in from there. It's not an ideal timeline to be working with, given the short breaks and turnarounds, but the fixture is what it is, and we need to go in and play some really competitive footy as quickly as possible, because this season, this season is currently a ticking time bomb. We're at round 21. By the way, for any of you that want to read into the innuendo of the black and white teams at main training, the Goey is in the black team with DC, Tom Mitchell and Pendles. On the other hand, you got Cox, Ed Allen, Demetia and Philae McRae in the middle. So that must tell some sort of a story when it comes to Jordan De Goey. I always say take these blacks and whites with a grain of salt at training, but when it's De Goey on a black in that starting midfield line, you almost have to read into that a little bit more than what you typically would. Bobby's on his way, in the black as well. So with the whites, one of the things we can see, the way they've set up the back line, is they've pretty much got everyone who plays in the back line for the ones in the white, besides Josh Dacos. So Billy Frampton's a part of that white team with Quaynor. You've even got McStay behind the ball, but at training you do see McStay play a bit of backline because, well, one, Darcy Moore is not present, so does that mean he plays? If Darcy Moore's not available, does he play in the back line? You'd probably think so, wouldn't you? I felt like we missed the trick against Fremantle, not playing him there. But at the very least, with McStay playing or training in the back line, at least it will help you prepare in case McStay does need to swing back throughout any point of the game. This, by the way, is the last kick of the session. So I'll get around him either way if he misses, I guess. Well short of that.